In 1590, an English explorer named John White sailed back to the New World after 3 years away. He was returning to a colony he had helped establish on Roanoke Island in what is now North Carolina. 117 men, women, and children were waiting for him. Or so he thought. When he arrived, the colony was completely empty. No settlers. No bodies. No blood. No signs of struggle. No remains of any kind. 117 people, simply gone. The only clue was a single word carved into a wooden post at the entrance of the fort. Croatoan. That was it. One word. No explanation. Over 400 years later, historians, archaeologists, and researchers still cannot agree on what happened to those 117 people. This is the Roanoke colony mystery, and it is the oldest unsolved disappearance in American history. To understand what happened at Roanoke, you need to go back to 1580s England. Queen Elizabeth I was on the throne. England was in fierce competition with Spain for control of the New World, what we now call America. Sir Walter Raleigh, one of the most powerful men in England, received royal permission to establish a colony in North America. The goal was simple: establish a permanent English presence in the New World before Spain could dominate it completely. The first attempt in 1585 failed. The settlers struggled to survive, ran out of supplies, and eventually returned to England. Raleigh tried again in 1587. This time he sent 117 colonists, men, women, and children, to establish a permanent settlement on Roanoke Island. The governor of the colony was John White, an artist and explorer who had been to the New World before. Almost immediately after arriving, the colonists ran into problems. Supplies were running dangerously low. John White made a decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He sailed back to England to get more supplies, leaving the 117 colonists behind. He promised to return within a few months. It would be 3 years before he came back. And when he did, everyone was gone. John White's return to Roanoke was delayed by 3 years because of the war between England and Spain. The Spanish Armada had attacked England in 1588, and every available ship was needed for the war effort. White desperately tried to get back to his colony, back to the settlers he had left behind, back to his own granddaughter, Virginia Dare, who had been the first English child born in the Americas. When he finally arrived at Roanoke Island on August 18, 1590, he found the settlement completely deserted. The houses had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed, carefully taken apart piece by piece. The heavy cannons and equipment had been removed. There were no signs of fire, no signs of battle, no graves, no human remains of any kind. The colonists had not been attacked. They had not been massacred. They had simply left. But where? White searched the entire settlement, desperately looking for any clue. And then he found it. Carved into a wooden post at the entrance of the fort, one word: Croatoan. And carved into a nearby tree, the letters CRO. White knew that Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, now called Hatteras Island, where a friendly Native American tribe lived. He believed his colonists had gone there willingly. But before he could investigate, a massive storm hit. His ships were forced out to sea. He never returned to look for them. And the 117 colonists of Roanoke were never seen again. For over 400 years, historians and archaeologists have tried to answer the single most important question: where did they go? The investigation has taken many forms over the centuries. In the early 1600s, when English settlers established Jamestown in Virginia, they heard stories from local Native American tribes about people living among them who wore European clothes and lived in houses built like English homes. Captain John Smith, the famous leader of Jamestown, reported hearing these stories multiple times. But every time English explorers tried to find these people, they came up empty. Then in 1937, a series of stones were found in the forests of North Carolina and Georgia. They became known as the Dare Stones. The inscriptions on the stones claimed to be messages from Eleanor White Dare, John White's daughter and Virginia Dare's mother. The messages described the colonists' fate, disease, attacks, death, They described Eleanor as the last survivor. Experts were excited. Finally, an answer. Then forensic analysis revealed the stones were almost certainly fake, created by someone in the 1930s hoping to cash in on the mystery. Back to zero. The mystery remained completely intact. Over the centuries, 4 main theories have emerged to explain what happened to the Roanoke colonists. Theory 1. They integrated with the Native Americans. This is the most widely accepted theory among historians today. The friendly Croatoan tribe on nearby Hatteras Island had established a good relationship with the English colonists before John White left. The colonists, running out of supplies and facing starvation, may have chosen to leave Roanoke and live among the Croatoan people. Archaeological evidence found on Hatteras Island supports this. Researchers have found English copper items, a signet ring, and other European artifacts buried among what appear to be Croatoan Native American sites. In 2020, the First Colony Foundation found a site called Site X, 50 miles inland from Roanoke, containing English pottery fragments and other artifacts that suggest colonists may have settled there. Theory 2. They were massacred by hostile Native American tribes. Not all tribes in the region were friendly to the English settlers. The Croatoan Confederacy, a powerful alliance of tribes in Virginia, was known to be hostile. Captain John Smith later reported being told by the Croatoan chief Wansanaka that he had personally ordered the killing of the Roanoke colonists because they had been living with a tribe that was his enemy. If true, this would explain the complete absence of remains. Bodies may have been destroyed or moved. Theory 3. They attempted to sail back to England and were lost at sea. When John White left, he left behind a small boat. Some historians believe the colonists may have attempted to sail to England or to another English settlement and were lost in a storm. The Atlantic Ocean in the late 1500s was brutally dangerous. Theory 4. A combination of all of the above. The most honest answer may be that the colony split. Some went to live with the Croatoan. Some attempted to move inland. Some may have been killed. And some may have been lost at sea. 117 people, multiple fates, zero confirmation of any of them. Here is what makes the Roanoke mystery uniquely disturbing even 400 years later. We have never found a single confirmed human remain from the colony. Not one bone. Not one grave. Not one definitive piece of evidence that tells us with certainty what happened. Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, was only 3 years old when John White left. She was among the 117 who disappeared. She has never been found. In 2015, archaeologists using ground-penetrating radar found what appeared to be a hidden room beneath the original Roanoke fort site. They believe colonists may have buried artifacts or documents before leaving. Excavations are still ongoing. In 2020, the First Colony Foundation announced their most significant discovery yet at Site X, evidence of a European settlement 50 miles inland. But even this discovery raises more questions than answers. Was this where the colonists went? Did they survive there? Did they eventually integrate with the local tribes? Or did something else happen to them? Nobody knows. And the most chilling thought of all, somewhere in the forests and coastlines of North Carolina, the answer may be buried just beneath the surface, waiting for someone to find it. 117 people trusted that someone would come back for them. John White came back. But they were already gone. Some mysteries don't have answers yet. But every mystery leaves a signal. Subscribe to Grave Signal. We investigate the cases the world forgot every single week. The next case is one that will make you question everything you think you know about evil. See you then.